It's Jason Abraham, the shadow teacher, and a topic that has been in my field of awareness, has been a great subject of interest, yet I have not done a deep dive into it until recently, or started to dive deep. That subject is quantum physics. Now, in the Newtonian physics model, that's the conventional model that we're taught in school, the belief is that you can set up a test when you're trying to understand how things work of subject and object, where you have an observer and then you're observing whatever you're trying to understand. Now, what's very interesting about the field of quantum physics is that quantum physics, the premise and what they found is, we're looking in terms of waveforms. We're looking in terms of energy and observing what a wave does. And what has been found is that there is no that you cannot separate subject from object. Whatever is seeing and observing is influencing that which is seen. And this is a phenom that came to my attention again in my work as a wellness coach. Whenever a new idea comes out and you're looking at studies, scientific studies that validate whatever the idea is, whether it be a diet or a new type of exercise for longevity or strength, you can always find an opposing idea and also find validity for that. And after looking into quantum physics, this makes quite a bit of sense. This resonates as true. And just seeing how subject and object, one cannot be separate from the other. So this takes us to the big question is, if this is true, if subject and object, if one cannot be separate, not be able to influence whatever you're observing, does objective truth exist? And we're looking again, into what is objective truth. And in quantum physics, we look at what's called 0 point, or the point where all consciousness, all that we perceive, originates from. You could call it God, you could call it Oversoul. I use God. Because this energy to me is very personal. It's not something that's impersonal. So if we're looking at God, the one true creator, 0 point, Oversoul, if that is the true origin of all that exists, what I've found, again, when we're doing light work, when we're called to our purpose, when we're called to experience this reality, or say God experiencing this reality through us, through our unique personalities, when our perspective is co-creating with the energy of the one true creator, what I found, this is the alignment of truth. The 0 point, God is pure truth. And when the vibrations and frequencies of what we do are more in alignment of that, that's when we start to discover the objective truth. Now, the story of Lucifer, it's the story of rebellion. It's the story of an angelic consciousness that sees its creative ability and power, but feels trapped, feels that he's entitled to be equal to the one true creator, so he rebels. And Lucifer believes that he is a standalone God and is entitled to be so, and is driven to create his standalone universe and creations that serve him in the belief, again, that he's a separate, standalone creator. And to me, this is what I call distortion. This is a distortion of the one true creator. This is the distortion of truth. You could say this is when we say I, me, 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 me. This is how the Luciferic consciousness shows up in us. When we start to create something and believe it's truly our own, or if we take something and distort something that's already created and then claim it to be our own, to me this is the alignment with Luciferic consciousness, distortion, and false light. So again, we have the difference of I, me, 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 versus the great I am, I am, I am. So the difference of claiming creation for your own out of a delusion versus co-creating in a unique way. Co-creating in a way that only your particular point of consciousness can, but doing so by allowing the 0 point, the one creator, the oversoul, God, to work through you, to move through you. Allowing God out of your own will, allowing what wants to move through you to do so, versus through strictly willpower, through defiance, believing you're creating something that is separate from that. There's a lot I said here, but I encourage you just to think about what I'm saying, meditate on it. What resonates as true? What triggers you? And if something triggers you, ask why that is. It's Jason Abraham, the Shadow Teacher, and I will see you on the other side.